good, eh? They had angry cams in them, didn't they? That sounds fantastic. Great big dump pipe. They were the days, mate. They were the days. I'm John Bowe, and I'm at Gray's Online, or Gray's Classic Car Auction, Australia's largest monthly classic car auction. Now this car here is as close to a barn find racing car as you're ever going to get. It is as it was raced. Mid-70s it was raced by the Goff brothers. Kel Goff was the driver. It was against the Holden dealer team at the time, Alan Grice, guys like that, and in the Ford world, Moffat and Murray Carter, and you know, it was a period of Group C racing that's very well thought of, and the car had some good results. It wasn't a tail ender, it was a little family race team located not far from here in Croydon, and you know, they had some quite good, I went through its records, they had some quite good results. They had some seconds and third places and even won a race, which was not that easy to do back in those days with, you know, factory HDT. Brock was in the privateer Gown Hindhoff car, so you know, it truly does represent what they were, like the roll cages as it was, the seat, the racing seat. It's got a 400 horsepower engine, which was about as good as you could get back then. This one has only done 20 hours since it was rebuilt, so it's still got some good life left in it. It did race, it's raced quite a lot on and off. It's only had 5 owners, but its early history is absolutely undisputable. So it's the real thing. And anybody that wants a piece of motor racing Group C Holden history, you know, could do a lot worse than this car. It's not a show car, as you can see. It's got a crack on the spoiler, and you know, it looks like it's just been pulled out of a garage. It would polish up much better than this, of course, but you know, this is how it was. There's quite a good movement in Australia of Group C and Group A racing. They do it at Phillip Island every year. They do it actually all over the place. And there's quite a few Toranas racing, Commodores and the Group A cars as well, so Nissans and Sierras and things like that. So, you know, it's an opportunity for someone to, you know, relive their past, I guess, in a real car. Like, it's genuinely a real car. It's got all the paperwork, lots of stories. So what they were in the 70s, you know, I used to watch these cars race at Symonds Plains as a young man, and you know, there were a lot of them. They were the car to have. An L34 was the standard setter back in those days, and this car was quite a good, successful car. I mean, didn't win lots of things like Bathurst and stuff like that, but it's a real genuine race car as it was raced. Like, look at the roll cage. It's all, you know, absolutely intact as it was. They used to use the normal standard steering wheel because they were quite heavy in the steering. They had 10-inch wheels on them. So for instance, my touring car Masters car, which is the Torana, it's a A9X, so it's the next model after this, but that's got power steering and it's got lots of creature comforts that these cars didn't have. So these were, you know, Peter Brock and Brian Sampson won Bathurst in one of these. I'm not sure that car still exists. There's not that many in true racing condition that survived this period. So it's pretty special, I reckon. And you know, the Goff brothers, there was Kel was the driver, and the other 2 guys, one was working on it and one was the manager or team manager. You know, that was how people went racing in those days. They didn't have 40-foot Pantex with big A trailers and all that. It was a much simpler time, and it represents that in this. I reckon this is fantastic, to be honest. I love a bit of nostalgia. So have a look at Gray's Online, Gray's Classic, and have a bid on it.